So this is going to review the anatomy for low back pain, buttock pain, pain that's going down the legs, pain that can refer to the groin area, pain that can refer to the hip, things like that. So what I want to look at first is we're going to look at the muscles, then we're going to look at the nerves that are in that area that refer to those muscle areas, and then we're going to look at the actual bone structure and see kind of where everything stems from. So I want to start on the back side. So we're going to actually remove a couple layers of skin. So if you can see, this is just a big fascia sheet, basically. It's kind of like the tendon attachments of the muscles. You can think of it that way. But when we take off a layer, you start to see in the hip area where these big nerve roots come out of the muscles. Okay, so this is the biggest one that goes down the back of the leg. That's your sciatic nerve. And all these other branches are either branches of these bigger nerves or they are branches that come off of the spinal area itself. So let's stick with looking at muscle though, and let's take off another layer. And if we are looking deep in the low back, you've got the muscles that these actually run from your tailbone area all the way up to your neck. Then you've got the one that I was kind of poking on from the side here on you. Actually, it's underneath here is what I was poking on. It's your Quadratus Lumborum. So this actually attaches to your spine on the sides, attaches to the bottom of your rib cage, and then the top of your hip. Yours was not super uncomfortable on the right. Left was definitely more uncomfortable. And then if we just take off all of the muscle in general that's bigger, there are these little bitty muscles that connect the spine segments. And then we flip it around here to look at the front. When I was poking you in the stomach, some of it was over here on your iliacus that sits just in the wall of your hip. But the other muscle that really was extra uncomfortable on you was your psoas muscle. So that goes up in this one that I said attaches to the front side of your spine. So if you can see in here, it is really, really deep. So when it's uncomfortable, it can really feel like back pain. Because really when you're looking at the body, it's a little bit more towards the back side than the front anyways. So that always throws people off that I address it from the front, but then they actually feel pain in their back some, but that is why. So, as far as nerves, you can see all this meshwork of nerves. Now, let's talk about in the front of your hip. So, your main nerve that's going to come down is your femoral nerve. Let me actually zoom in a little bit more so I can get kind of right up on it. So your femoral nerve sits on the front of your hip, and then it has all these little attachments that come off, okay? So where you describe pain on the outside of your thigh, if you can see these little nerve endings that come out, those all stem from this big femoral nerve, and that femoral nerve stems from the L2 through 4 area of your spine up in here, okay? And then as far as groin pain, so when I was pushing up on your inner groin area today, this pectineus muscle was what I was on. So I found your pubic bone here, then I came off to the side. But if you can see, there's also a meshwork of nerves that come into the actual genital area and that come to here. Your pectineus muscles supplied from L3-4 area. So you don't have to remember all these things. I just want to give you a visual of the muscles that are hurting and where they actually stem from in the back and why I always address the back. So if we look on the back side, how you always have pain in your hip area, deep in your buttock. So if you look at some of these nerves that spray out here from deep in the butt cheek, this is your superior gluteal nerve. Again, you don't have to remember any of this, but it stems from L4-5 and S1. It comes through here and it gets deep, deep, deep in your booty cheek, okay? And then there is your superior cluneal nerves, okay? These also stem from the low back and they actually are the skin for part of your buttock area. And if you're looking at these guys out here, these also stem from low back. But you can just see all of this meshwork and why when you only address a muscle, you're really missing a bigger picture. And when you only address one place where your symptoms are, you miss where all these things stem from. So let's actually take these muscles all the way off. And let's take a little bit of a look on where they actually come out of the spine. So some of these guys that are coming out. Your femoral cutaneous nerve, so this is going to go to the side of your thigh, but just to give you an overview. So, like I said, you don't have to remember all these things. I just wanted you to see that they come out from way up here, and then they go down so much farther than you'd think that they would. They go down past the knee. If you're looking at sciatic nerve, it splits, like I was telling you, and part of it goes to the outside of your thigh, your lower leg, and then the other part splits and it goes right down, right down the back of your calf. So when I was needling you today, I had a point right here for that reason. Okay, if you look where it is in the foot, how you were talking about the arch of your foot getting really uncomfortable and then potentially going numb, that tibial nerve goes right down here. And then if we look at this guy that goes right down here to your big toe, stems off lower lumbar, it's your saphenous nerve. It comes down all the way into the toe, and then you have another mesh working down here on the bottom of the foot. I don't know if I can get it to go kind of. There we go. So you got tons of things that are going all the way down. So that's why I really, really wanted to focus mainly on your low back today. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of an overview of why I approach things the way I do. When I was needling you, I had needles at each of these levels that are coming out of your low back. Definitely more sensitive on the left. I actually went down into your sacrum area because if I add on these ligaments, all these guys here, okay, and then all these that are connecting your hip to your actual sacrum, those are all innervated also. And then when you're pregnant, they all loosen up. So you've had a lot of, in a fairly short period of time, because your kids are not very spaced out, you've had a lot of loosening and just increased laxity to your ligaments, especially down in here around your SI joints. And then on the flip side, when we were talking front, and you said you had your pubic bone shifted a little bit, your pubic symphysis has to spread a serious amount for natural childbirth because baby's coming out down here, okay? So when you're taking into account all the ligament structures that have been slacked because of pregnancy, all the muscles that have had to kick in to basically hold you together, things can get irritated. So step one is going to be calm down this nervous system. And then step two is going to be adding on strengthening exercises, a lot of them for these deeper muscles that support your spine, okay? And then as we add things on, global strengthening. When we look at the tush, you will have strengthening exercises for these deeper muscles. So when you're at PT and you're working on clamshells, things like that, and glutes, they are strengthening. I think they just maybe did not end up calming things down well enough first. So hopefully that wasn't too much. If it was, just take away one or two main things here, and it's calm things down, build things back up, okay?